Welcome to the Investor Fuel Real Estate Investing Show, where I interview the nation's top real estate entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and other amazing entrepreneurs to help educate and inspire you to take your business and your life to the next level. My goal is to add tremendous value to you during every single episode of this show. If you get value, I'd love it if you subscribe on your favorite podcast player, subscribe on YouTube, and my very favorite, please share this with your community so we can impact even more entrepreneurs. Let's start today's show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We have an unusual situation. I'm actually out of my ranch with my buddy Don Fowler. We have a bunch of other friends out here. And I have a podcast studio in my office at the ranch. I've done some virtual podcasts from here, but I haven't done an interview style podcast. So a little unconventional, but as entrepreneurs, that's what we do. We solve problems, right? So this is not a problem. This is a great opportunity today to be here with my buddy Don Fowler. We're going to be talking about how to leverage AI in your business. And Don has a lot of insights on that because he works with thousands of investors across the country to share what they're doing. So thanks for being on the show today, Don. Great to see you, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, well, before we jump into we're going to talk a lot about AI. It's a very interesting time, I think, for everybody using AI. Maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I come from a technology background. I used to sell semiconductors for Intel Corporation back in the day. And I was kind of a sales guy. And a gentleman brought me into this industry and wound up hooking up with a guy named Greg Clement at RealFlow. That was 19 years ago. Time is really flying, and that business has really grown and really matured in just a really cool way. So and then I have 3 kids, and one just went to college, which is crazy. I'm getting old quick. It doesn't. If you have kids, it goes by like that, guys. So enjoy the time with the children. And I've got a 12 and 15-year-old, and really enjoy the sports with them, basketball and lacrosse and flag football and all this good stuff. So,
yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, excited to have you here today. It's kind of funny when you've been doing things as long as we have. Like, I remember when I started in the industry. So 2008, there was not a single CRM for real estate investors. It was like whiteboards, spreadsheets, legal pads, manila folders, and I came out of a tech startup, and I was like, this is like, when some tools started to come on, I was like, this is like caveman with laser gun. Like, investors don't know what they're doing, but the whole world's changed in terms of that. So tell us a little about investors, I think more than ever are investing virtually in lots of markets. It's getting easier and easier to just move around. When I was coming up, I've done hundreds of deals in my market, and it wasn't common for people to go invest in other lands. That's very common now. So how do you analyze markets to find out, how to use AI to analyze markets to find out where you should go?
Yeah, exactly. You can use regular off-the-shelf LLMs like Grok and ChatGPT and Claude and all of those. And then we have some really interesting tools too that can analyze different markets throughout the country and see what type of investing you want to do and where those deals are the hottest right now, and where the market's going to, not necessarily where it's been, but where it's going to go in the future.
So what determines a hot market? Like if you're a wholesaler, you almost don't really care if it's hot, I guess. If you're a buy and hold person, you want it to be hot because you're hoping they'll appreciate it.
Exactly.
If you're a fix and flipper, you want it to be a solid market because you want to be able to sell. Like what determines whether it's a hot market or not?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, it really depends on that strategy. So, if you're a wholesaler, then that's where you're just looking for that margin and looking for really good buyers, right? So really good end buyers. And I tell wholesalers, kind of work it from reverse, go talk to those buyers. What do they want? Where do they want it? What type of property are they looking for? What type of asset? What type of condition? All of those things. And then you back yourself into the deal.
Yeah, that's great. And I guess, more than ever, some investors invest nationwide. Some are we have even folks that are in Investor Fuel that operate in 5 or 10 markets or more sometimes. And so they should keep their eye on top of this. Like you could go in, but you could get out just as easily and just go into other markets as the market changes, right?
Yeah. The one thing I see new investors, they want to invest in their backyard because that's their comfort zone. But it could be the worst possible market to invest in.
Yeah.
So look outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're a buy and hold person, like if you're in Northern California, it's not a great rental market. You got to go somewhere else, right?
Right, exactly. Some of those blue collar towns are much better.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot. We both have companies that do a lot of predictive modeling for determining who's most likely to sell. So let's talk about what's hot in AI to predict from a lead gen perspective, who's most likely to sell.
Yeah, that's a great topic. And it's actually something we've been working on since 2018, before AI is what AI is now.
Yeah.
And the way we took a look at it is really from a holistic approach. So we bought data from 1980 on and ran it through what's called a genetic algorithm. It's swarm technology. It's really truly like nature. You can imagine bees going off and trying to find the best algorithm, trying to find the best correlations. And then those bees will then have offspring that understand what the parent knew. And we're on, I don't know what generation now, but it goes every quarter. We turn out a new generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that model just gets so much stronger over time, because you could just imagine it simply that, let's say that there's a lower income family, their mother-in-law has an income from the government, and maybe she dies, or maybe she moves to a nursing home. And now if she moves to a nursing home, that's a big trigger for us, because they've not only lost the income, now they've got to pay for that nursing home too. And that same person has some other really bad things happening in their life.
Yeah.
Those correlations are what we're looking at. And then that's what's determining, hey, this is a distressed home seller. And that home seller may not even know it yet, which is wild.
Yeah. It's interesting because there, when I was coming up, what the evolution has been, real estate investors that just do, broad marketing. They're just hitting everybody and hopefully they catch somebody. Then it evolved to like, hey, let's focus on age and equity. Those are indicators, right? But there, like you said, there's lots of indicators, and there's big data has made sure that we know lots about a lot of people, from like, what is their political affiliation and what do they like to watch on TV?
Right.
Of course, other triggers like probate, divorces, liens, and there's all sorts of liens, mowing liens, IRS, and all kinds of liens, right? And so for many, many years, people were like, oh, I'm a probate guy. We just go after probate leads. But in any market, that's not that many people.
Exactly.
There's lots of other ways to be distressed. Then the evolution was, there were a couple of companies built some software to start stacking lists and scoring things. And we did that too. I'm sure you guys did that too. And now it's like, now we have hundreds of data points that you can layer in and create algorithms to figure out what's the combination of a mowing lien and a divorce. And you start to like do some stuff that, quite frankly, humans just couldn't do.
The mind. Yeah. And you're exactly right. So first one, you said everybody. Next one, single dimension, then multi-dimension, which is list stacking. But then what time is the most important thing. And we're taking billions of data points now.
Yeah.
And each signal has a timeline associated with it. Right. So when a divorce happens, that house typically sells 10 months after the divorce. I didn't realize that, but the data showed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that's just one thing. Right. But you take a look at all of these other things. And for each homeowner, we're tracking about 20,000 meaningful data points. Like, what kind of magazines they subscribe to? Like, just crazy stuff you never would think about.
Two-faced of these. Yeah. Right. What's crazy too is, cause we, with Investor Machine, there's been an evolution for us too, is all these data points. We created an algorithm to stack like different, criteria, probates and other things like that. But then we found over time, it's like, well, the reaction or the likelihood to sell is very different, even in different counties or states. Like for example, like extreme example, I guess, is Florida. Well, there's a lot of equity in Florida because there's a lot of second homes, a lot of absentee owners because there's a lot of second homes, a lot of older people, but they're not necessarily, that doesn't mean they're motivated to sell.
Exactly.
Right. But in some other markets, it's like, that's way higher likelihood that they're going to sell.
Yeah. Urban versus rural, and Florida versus, somewhere in Kansas. Yeah. And that's another really cool thing about AI is, and I don't know if you know this, that we did this or not, but we let the AI create its own geographic territories. And we said, just go do it. And there's some stuff that's popping out of there. It's like spooky. We don't know how it's happening.
Yeah.
It's spooky.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been using, not for this necessarily, but using AI for helping create some stuff. And it definitely gets, what's the guy on my team, Kieran on my team says it starts to hallucinate.
Right.
It like starts to come up with like, wait, I gave you these guardrails and I said, don't go outside of this. And it just makes up some totally different thing about, what it should do. So, Yeah. And do a little edit. And the AI in my camera
Hallucinated.
was hallucinating. Yeah. So we tried to edit this out. If you guys, if it looks a little bit different, all of a sudden my camera was following me around, even though I had it turned off and it wouldn't do that. So
Perfect timing.
we just talked about hallucinating. Yeah. It was like, I'll show you. Yeah. So, so yeah, it's amazing what we can do with lead gen, right? It was amazing what you do with AI. I mean, it's just a crazy time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting crazier too. By the minute, seems like.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, determining your exit strategy. So a lot of people, like historically, I would say there's people that just do 100% wholesaling. There's people who do 100% fix and flip. There's people that base it on their cash flow or a mix of both, some buy and hold mixed in there. And then there's people now that could use AI to determine like, well, what should I do here based off of what's happening in the marketplace, kind of real time.
100%. And then you can leverage the free tools or the little paid services like ChatGPT and Claude and Grok and put in all of that information and try to have AI determine what the best strategy is for that deal. We also do it internally, which is crazy the way that it works. You just push a button and it'll tell you what the deal should be and why.
Yeah.
Or if you really want to do the bird method, it'll say, no, that's a poor fit. And here's all the reasons why you should not do that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You could, I know you guys have a platform for this, but essentially for retail deals, I think most investors will go look at like, what's the average days on market? I mean, that's the same where you could do that, but with AI, you could basically give it a lot of inputs as to like, here's all the houses that have sold in the last year around my price point, exact distance from your house. Like, tell me how long I could expect this to be on the market based on all the inputs I did, right?
You don't have to do that now. Zillow pierced that veil.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it knows all of that. So you don't have to give it those inputs. You really don't have to do much on a large language model right now.
Yeah. Wow.
Tell them about the deal, what you're buying it at, what the terms are. And it should be able to give you some really cool advice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. So let's talk a little bit about we just talked about Dispo. You know, obviously you could choose a different exit strategy based on what the likely outcome is. Of course, historically, people that are wholesalers are historically just putting some effort into building a list to try to sell stuff. Now there's platforms that have popped up to help people with Dispo. You guys have one of those platforms as well. But just talk about like the kind of evolution of Dispo and how AI is assisting investors.
Yeah. And you're right. Back in the day, you would have to get your buyer's list, and that would be your protective buyer's list. Yeah. And no one else would have your buyer's list. That is gone. Everyone can see those buyers now. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of different tools out there. And you can even ask chat to who's buying houses right now for cash.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it will give you that response.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tools out there. As a wholesaler, it's never been more exciting, because the buyers are there and you can find those buyers really quickly and effectively.
So do you think, we'll talk a little bit about kind of the evolution of where AI is going here. I think one of the benefits for real estate investors for as long as you and I have been in this business, and even before that, was it was a very fragmented market. Some of not having technology and all these tools would allow the hardest workers to do the best, just because they hustle and they figure stuff out. And now everybody's getting these tools and they're off the shelf products. There's hundreds of companies now that we know that are doing all sorts of different things like this. And so it's leveled the playing field, where it went from very fragmented and people figure stuff out to where everybody has some of the same tools. Like, where are we going?
Yeah. These kids today, I look at these 18, 19-year-olds, and they're hustlers, just like we were when we were kids, but they're leveraging technology in such unique ways. Yeah. Ways that you and I would never figure out. Right? So those guys that are leveraging technology and hustling, that's the perfect combination.
Yeah. So from a Dispo standpoint, like how is AI helping buy and hold investors?
Buy and hold investors. So it's a good question. I mean, you look at the history of a certain market, right? And look at those rent, what's the word I'm looking for? Occupancy rates. Yeah. And where are people renting and staying the longest? And it's always typically those blue collar markets in that right price point, where you can buy the house at the right price and rent it at the right price. and where you can still see that cash flow happening.
Yeah.
Like Northern California, not going to happen.
Yeah.
But in Jacksonville, Florida, all day long.
Yeah.
And those are the really key things for the buy and hold is being able to acquire that property at the right price, right terms, so that you can rent it and still cash flow it.
Yeah. And I think especially for virtual investors that are willing to go into other markets or multiple markets, you know, one of the things that didn't exist when I first started either is property managers that are operating in multiple states. Like, and so you'd have to find a different property manager in different markets. And now there's, you know, companies actually, one of them was even Investor Fuel. They manage 20,000 doors in like 50 markets. And so you could have one manager that you're talking to about different markets even.
And then that one manager can manage different property managers. It's really, really cool. And like, you're right. That stuff did not exist. We had to pick a market, find a good local property manager. Yep. And go all in on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, the market has changed. It's never been a more exciting time to be a real estate investor.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting that there's not as many people entering our space right now. So if you're real estate investing right now, you're in a good spot.
Yeah, we just had Investor Fuel this week, and I was saying the same thing. You could do, I kind of showed an image of a fork in the road, right? You can stick your head in the sand and pretend like the market's not changing and you're going to get left behind, or you use this time to kind of buckle down, you know, really build your goals, get clarity over what you want to happen, and figure out how you use a lot of these tools and relationships that can help you really not just survive, but thrive. Like a lot of people I think are afraid, like they can't thrive. It's like, no, the people that left the market, there's always people that like leave the market and will come back when things get quote better, but they miss out on these years of like the war wounds and the arrows in your back and, you know, the working harder that really is what gives you an unfair advantage as the market starts to turn, is you're ahead of everybody else because you had just gone through the war.
Exactly. Yeah. And you said something that just piqued my interest too. We're talking about AI but at the end of the day, it's the relationship too.
Yeah.
It's the relationship that you have with the buyers, with the market, with the property managers, whatever it is. It's those personal relationships. And you get out of the business, you lose those personal relationships. You try to get back and it's an uphill climb.
Yeah.
And I think any market is good as a real estate investor. You just have to adapt and adjust.
That's right. Yeah. It's always amazed me because like, you know, just because of Investor Fuel and, you know, there's hundreds of investors in there that are sometimes doing things completely differently, but they're making it work. Like it works for them and this is their model and this is their market. And there's like, you know, we have some folks that are in the Bay Area and it's like, I don't want to go there, but they do very few deals, but they're all like $150,000 profits when they deal them. It's like, man, that's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You know? But that's the model they know and it works for them.
The big swings, right? Yeah. And not so many deals. I know what you're talking about. I've had some of those guys too, and they $150,000 acquisition or fees, just wholesale fee.
Right.
And it's incredible.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about where we're going with AI. So I think you and I talked a little bit. I mean, it's hard to know. Yeah. Right. Especially when we just saw it, AI gets a life of its own and starts to come up with its own ideas. But but for like a real estate operator and folks in the real estate industry, like let's try to
I think
a little bit
leveraging AI for literally any part of your business right now is critical. So whatever task you're doing, hey, think in your head, how can AI help me right now? And then if you start leveraging AI in every single aspect of your business right now, then as AI evolves, because I think it's a big guessing game what happens here, but you're evolving with AI and you're staying kind of up to date with it. Because if you're saying, you know what, I'm not going to leverage AI right now, I'll wait 6 months, a year. You're so far behind. And even now, we're an AI company, and I feel like I'm always behind.
Yeah,
always behind on AI. So where it's going is going to be a really interesting ride for all of us.
Yeah,
we talked about some really crazy stuff last night, and you know what our world is going to look like in 5 or 10 years from now.
Yeah.
We'll have everything beamed right down to us.
It's hard to imagine.
It'll literally know what you're thinking before you think it.
I think the key is it's not too late.
Right.
But like get on the bus.
If you got to get on the bus.
I think where it helps, you know, in real estate, having been an operator for a long, long time, is that there's so many administrative burdens on all entrepreneurs. it just helped. It just is the fact that a lot of the AI stuff up to this point, and there's a lot of cool tools obviously you guys are working on, but there's the most help for administrative junk, like a lot of the administrative type burdens. Like AI is perfect for that.
Well, the best piece of advice I can give everyone right now is let AI help you figure out how AI can help you.
Right. Yeah.
So just sit and talk to it and say, this is what I do. This is how I do it. How can you help me? And really have that long form conversation with AI.
Yeah.
Just sit, talk to it, and it won't talk back. It'll listen to everything you have to say, parse it,
Yeah.
and give you some good action items of how it can help you.
Yeah. One thing I've been telling people is, and then I believe this too, is like, I have a bigger team than ever. I have a bunch of different businesses. We have more employees than ever right now, and we're using AI more than ever. So I know that AI will eliminate a lot of roles out there ultimately, but I'm not really looking to eliminate. I'm looking to grow people. But I would say like I'm doing things that I could never do with humans.
Yeah.
And so but I need that support for them to still help, either free up my time so I can focus on like strategic things. And so I think there will be a time where if you have, if you really, stuff that there's going to be some administrative things, some very redundant things that are going to get eliminated by AI. And I know it's already happened, but I'm not at a point now. Like I'm trying to use AI basically as a tool to leverage to help me get to the next level. I'm not trying to like slash expenses with AI. I'm trying to use it to go to new lands that I could never go to before.
Give you the best thing that we've found that we use AI for. So the programmers do all that stuff. They use AI, but our customer support team, right? So they would take calls, talk to the customer, figure out their issue at that point. AI does all that for them now. So when you call in or text in or email, you're talking to AI. And AI is going to solve that problem quickly, that reactive problem. So now our customer support team's like, what am I good for now? What we want them to do is be proactive. Call our customers, talk to them, ask them what's going on, what's the problem.
Yeah.
And I think you can, as a real estate investor, can leverage AI the same way. Let AI do all the stuff, and then you cultivate these personal relationships,
Which AI can never do. Yeah.
Correct. And that's what we're good at, right?
Yeah.
Personal relationships as humans. So let us spend time doing that. And I think that's the best use of AI.
Yeah.
Let AI do all the other stuff and then cultivate these personal relationships.
I talked a lot about that in Investor Fuel this week of like how AI is an amazing tool, but it's never going to change the relationships. And we're all Facebook friends. We're all connected on social media. But I think people are feeling like, in the past, we're like, oh, we're friends on Facebook. I don't know you, but we're friends on Facebook. Well, that's cool. I mean, I have thousands of them. I clearly don't know everybody, but I think people are craving, having gone through COVID, having gone through all this stuff, and now AI. There's people trying to create faceless videos, and there's people using AI avatars of themselves to create content. And I understand the efficiency side of that and why people want to do it. That stuff is going to make people crave real relationships more than ever. There's so many kind of fake relationships.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're a wholesaler, go find those buyers, take them out to coffee, talk to them, get to know that about them, ask them about their kids or whatever it is.
Right.
And get that personal relationship, because people want to work with people they like and trust.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So cool. Anything we didn't uncover yet with where we're going with AI?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to some crazy places.
Yeah. It's hard to even imagine. Like there's stuff that we're doing now. If I'm like, just imagine this in like 2 years or 5 years, like, gosh, who knows where we're going?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. The good thing is I think for real estate investors, there'll always be, I don't want this. There's always going to be people in distress.
Sure.
I mean, we all know that the average American is living paycheck to paycheck at best, right? So there's always going to be financial distress, and I don't wish that on anybody, but it's the real world. There's always people getting divorced. There's always death. There's always probably tenants that'll tell you the rentals up that make a landlord want to sell it like immediately. There's always, like, humans will be humans. Yes. That's not changing, right? And so there's always going to be opportunity for real estate investors.
100%. Yes, absolutely. And that solving issues for humans too. I think that's also, as a good real estate investor, you're not there to take advantage of somebody. You're there to solve their problem and help them out of that situation. Credit card debt is out of control. There's a lot of people hurting, a lot of people over leveraged in the house. is the only thing they have equity in. And that equity is getting burned up really quickly right now.
Yeah. And no matter how bad the situation gets, they still need a shelter. They still need a place to live. And so the way as a real estate investor, you solve some of those problems might change over time. But the fact of the matter is, as long as there's people, they need houses, and there'll always be opportunities for real estate investors. Our cheese might move around a little bit, but it's still there somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know you help a lot of folks with your tech at RealFlow. Tell us a little bit about how you help people and how folks can contact you if they want to learn more.
Yeah. So, my company's called RealFlow, Real E Flow, and we are very different than any other organization out there, I would say, because we don't sell directly to operators. So you couldn't buy my stuff if you wanted to buy it. So we white label our data. We sell our data to big enterprise companies. We're considered a big data company, and, we have a really cool UI, UX. So that's the framework that you work in. And we white label that to a couple of investor fuel people too. So I can work with
I know you work with coaches and other kind of folks that have platforms.
Yeah. CRMs, coaches. There's so many cool CRMs coming out. They leverage AI, by the way.
Right.
And we're the data behind those really cool tools. And that's our company.
So for folks listening to you right now, they might already be using your product.
Again, not knowing
it's embedded inside of somebody else, or if there's some coaches or tech companies that are out there and they want to do more of this, but they don't want to figure it all out themselves, they should give you a call.
Yeah. Reach out to us. We can help you to, can I shout out to some investor fuel partners?
Oh, you sure can. And make sure you share your contact info so the folks on.
Yeah. So for me, it's at realeflow.com. And, if you go fill the form out, it actually comes to me. So,
okay. Yeah. We'll put a link on the site.
Yeah. And, but, some investor fuel guys that white label my product is Travis Oglesby. His thing is called cashflowhunter.ai.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, John Nolan, Pete, great CRM, by the way.
Yeah.
So, Pete leverages our data and that's in there as well.
That's great.
And I don't want to say the name because I'm not certain he's in investor fuel, but there's a bunch of other ones. There's about 140 of them out there. So you might be leveraging our stuff already. And if you are, thank you very much. And we definitely want the feedback too.
Yeah, that's great. Make sure you get on the AI bus, even if you just start to ease into it. When I started, honestly, I felt like I was late to the party. I guess late spring last year, I started playing with AI a little bit more. I felt like I was getting left behind, right? And then I used it for some things. And you're right, it was the most, I had just heard, because we've got friends like Brian Hansen and Francis Adela that are like on the cutting edge of AI. And truthfully, I'm actually in their AI mastermind, but I'm so busy, I almost never show up. But I keep getting teased with like, the problem with AI, or I guess the opportunity is every day it's like, something leapfrog. Holy cow, you can do this. Check out this thing. And it's like never ending. And it makes you feel like you're getting left behind. So I just started playing with it. And you're right. One of the things that I did is just like, here's what I want to do. Like, how would I use you to do this? And it starts to, and then like, ask me what questions you need me to answer.
Right.
And it'll just tell you like, we're going to walk down this path together. Here's what you need to know. Can you clarify this? What does this mean to you? And it starts to kind of learn what it is you're trying to do. And it's as easy as, and truthfully, I use Claude for a lot of things. So I just, on the app, I just talk to it.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, if I have to go type out exactly what I want to do, it takes forever. If it's just stream of consciousness and it can put it all together for me, it's way easier for me.
Yeah. And you can give it a prompt, say, hey, I'm going to take some pauses. And when I say I'm done, that's when I'm done.
Yeah.
So don't interrupt me.
Yeah. I do that all the time.
Yeah. And that's the biggest piece of advice I can give you is talk to AI, let it help you and do it now. It's only going to get bigger and more prevalent in our industry.
Yeah. Hey, would you mind, you've been in investor fuel for a little while.
Yeah.
We've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
Finally lured you into investor fuel. I don't know, it's been about 6 or 9 months ago, earlier this year.
Yeah.
Would you mind just telling a little bit about, just give a brief testimonial on what you think about investor fuel?
It's incredible. So the really cool thing about this group for me, so I'll talk from my point of view, is we've got some really high level operators. And for me to be around those high level operators, that's like the feedback, that direct feedback that I'm looking for. Yeah. And those guys, man, there's some unbelievable operators in your group. And then the neat thing about your group is you put the service providers in their own little box over there. So we're not pestering your operators. And the service provider room that I'm in is absolutely incredible. Everyone is very open. They share, they They tell all their best stuff that they're learning right now in the space. And for me personally, I really appreciate the service providers that are in there, and now they're so open and honest, and that the feedback in that room is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's great.
Those breakout rooms, and then your keynotes, just some of the best speakers, and really inspirational.
Yeah.
So thank you for
I
that.
think for the service providers, a lot of people, when we started at the beginning of this year, a lot of people were like, what is it? What is it? Most people that are service providers used to come to events and being a sponsor.
Right.
Right. It's like, well, I want to put you guys together and figure out how you can collaborate. We're going to talk about how to build better marketing funnels, how to generate more leads. And you saw it this week when we were there. I mean, you were in a room where you were the only person like you, but there were some, some tax advisors, there's some other lenders, there's a bunch of people. You all are fishing for the same avatar.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have like the same issues. Like our widgets are a little bit different, but we all got, how do you use more AI in your business? How do I build my personal brand more? How do I build my company brand more? How do I appeal to these people in the light of today's economy? Like we're all dealing with the same issues.
Right.
How do I build a better team? How do I minimize my taxes? Like we're all dealing with the same issues, even if our widget's different.
And we're at different levels too. So you've got some guys that were kind of brand new. I remember the one guy, he's like, I got 8 customers. I'm like, I've got hundreds of thousands of customers.
Yeah.
So it's nice because we can give some of the more experienced guys can give those new guys really good advice. And I sat with that gentleman at the bar. Great guy, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's going to explode his business
For sure.
And the stuff that we gave him, and the knowledge and the institutional knowledge that we all have in that room, I think he was personally blown away.
Yeah.
And then, but for me, kind of being the old guy in the room, these young guys are doing things that I never considered.
Right.
So yeah, it's a really cool room.
Yeah. Well, glad you're there.
Yeah. No, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me at the very first.
Yeah, this is cool.
Live from the ranch interview.
I love it.
We're hanging out here. It's funny when we had this is your second time out here. And it's the first time I've done a podcast from here, like with somebody else. So
I was just fishing. So
yeah.
I literally had to take the pole out of my hand.
Yeah. We just got done with a big breakfast spread. Went and drove side by sides around, had a good time. So
Yeah.
cool.
We're going to go shoot some guns now.
That's right. So, hey, everybody, thanks for joining us on the show. Make sure you learn more about Don and RealFlow. We'll put a link down below if you want to learn more about him and some contact info. And just make sure you're getting on the AI bus. Even if you feel like you're left behind, they say that probably, have you ever heard, I've never heard this quote. I'm going to say, they said this. The best time to get started in AI was 2 years ago. The second best time is today.
Yeah. Definitely.
There you go.
I like
So,
that.
but I appreciate you guys a ton. We're going to keep bringing you a bunch of knowledge. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. We are doing a ton of podcasts this year. We're really leaning in because there's just so many amazing people. I'm blessed to be surrounded by a lot of awesome people. And I'm going to keep sharing my friends with you. So thanks for joining us on the show today. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us for today's show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing on your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. You can also check out the show's notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and even how to work with me directly one-on-one. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. See you on the next show.